Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryankarabhavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. The last class we saw there are 4 grades of students who seek knowledge. And I did mention that in this course, this study of these 3 states of consciousness is designed for the 3rd type, the 4th type of the student. It is meant for a person who is interested in his realization, the 4th grade. So the first one is just curious. The second category is interested in theoretical understanding. Ideas, is more concerned about the various ideas that he can get through philosophy. Then there is a 3rd type of student who comes in and says, I wanted to grow. But that growth has to be within that parameters. He says, I wanted to grow, but I wanted to grow in these areas. That's about it. So once that change happens, that's it. After that, he doesn't conceive of anything beyond. This is the 3rd type. The person who goes for self-improvement. I want to improve myself. I want to better myself. I want to develop myself. This is the 3rd category of student. Then you have the 4th category of student who says, I want to realize the self. This Upamanam and Shabda, Agama, those 2 methods are addressed to that type of student, to the 4th category. So the 4 pramanas are there: Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Agama. This Upamana and Agama is designed for the 4th type of student, because Upamanam and Shabdam both are given out by the teacher. The student cannot do Upamanam on his own, isn't it? I have no idea in terms of how Chhatrapati Shivaji fought with Mughals. I have no clue about it. I don't know about it. So someone who had studied, who knows the history of Shivaji, he wants to communicate how Chhatrapati Shivaji fought against Mughals to me when I go and ask him, who is this Chhatrapati Shivaji? What did he do? How did he fight? Now he has to communicate that to me. He has the knowledge of Chhatrapati Shivaji. Also, he has the knowledge of tiger. How tiger, with what ferocity tiger attacks, fights. He knows both. And also he knows that I have the knowledge of tiger. So he knows 3 things. What are the 3 things he knows? Number 1, he knows about Chhatrapati Shivaji. 2, he knows about tiger. Also, he knows that I know about tiger. and I don't know about Chhatrapati Shivaji. I hope you're all with me. Right. Now, he takes that one aspect of the tiger and compares that to Chhatrapati Shivaji. What is aspect he is taking? Is taking the aspect of only the ferocity, nothing else. Now, if I am not belonging to the fourth category of student, lowest requirement is I should be the third category of student for me to connect with Upamana. Very, 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 very basic. That's the fundamental requirement. That's what we see always in the debates and all that. In the debates, when the person speaks, what they do is they pick out that one word that is used by that person, or one thing they say. Now you can't compare this to that, and they will go off tangent to that discussion. How can you compare this with that? What is a comparison? This is where the problem is in communication. Now, if you have to learn from the masters, what is required is this. You have to have this knowledge. He has little more than me. This pratyaksha and anumanam, I don't require a master to communicate. I can do it on my own. I can engage my body. I can engage my intellect. Using my body and my intellect, my senses and my intellect, I can arrive at some knowledge. We are not discussing whether it is appropriate, inappropriate, how correct, how wrong. That's all different. But I can arrive at it. But there is no way that the student is capable of wielding that third pramana. Upamanam has to be used only by the teacher. The master only uses upamana. The student cannot use upamana. But student can employ the first two. He is not dependent on the master. Now, this upamanam gives X amount of conviction to the student. But then there is a limitation for that also. Beyond that is the agama, he says, tradition or shabda pramana. Then we saw all that. What are the criteria? I mean, of course, we didn't go into the details of, under what circumstances it will work. There are, basic requirements of 5 ways of gaining knowledge through Shabda and how they are ineffective with reference. All this is study of the, huge Pramana study that is. Nyaya Shastra we have to study for. Now we don't want to go into that much of detail right now. Right? All that we need to know is Upamanam and Agama is wielded exclusively by the master. Pratyaksha and Anumana can be used by the student also. But the teacher can give all three. Teacher will have an access to Pratyaksha, teacher will have an access to inference, Anumana, the teacher has an access to Upamana and Shabda or Agama. Now, why we are insisting on the fourth category of student? That's the most important thing. This is where I did refer last class that, remind me of Valmiki. Unfortunately, one student had reminded me. Now I have to explain. Since that for that one person, everybody has to listen to it. That's all. Or because of that one person, everybody gets a benefit. You can take it either way. Now, that Valmiki story, all of you know, I suppose. Now, Valmiki, Ratnakar was his original name. That's not Valmiki. His original name was Ratnakar. This Ratnakar is the one who became Valmiki later. What was his job? He was a dacoit. Meaning, people who cross the jungle, he'll catch out of those people, kill them, and take away all their properties, wealth, whatever they are carrying, all their goods he will take away with them. And using that, he was feeding his family and taking care of his family and all that. One day, Narada was passing that side. So he caught hold of Narada. And Narada was unperturbed. For the first time, Ratnakar saw someone who was being captured, but no sign of fear in his eyes. That fearlessness with which Narada looked at Ratnakar, something happened to him. He said, "What is this? This man is not scared of me. What are you doing? Why are you doing like this?" He says, "I have to take care of my family and all that." Then Narada asked him one simple question. He said, "See, the wealth that you are developing doing this sinful action, right, that your people are all sharing with you, right? Will they be will they be willing to share the sin that is developed, you have accrued out of these actions? Because you come and steal from people, and whatever you have stolen, they are sharing." And Ratnakar said, "Of course, they are. I'm doing it not just only for me. I'm doing it, factually speaking, if only me, I don't need all these things. I can beg and live. There's no problem at all. Thing is, I have to do all these things because I need to provide for my father, my mother, my wife, my kids. They're all there. I have to take care of them. That's why I'm doing it. Of course, they'll change." He said, "Go and find out and come. Have you ever asked?" He said, "Why should I ask?" He was so confident. "Why should I ask?" He said, "Just go and ask, no, for the heck of it." So he goes. Before going, he ties Narada to the tree because he should not run away. Narada said, "I will not run away, man. I will wait for you." He said, No, I will tie you because I don't trust you fellows." So he tied him to the tree, and the Ratnakar goes to his father, and he says, "Dad, I have one doubt. Will you clarify?" He said, "What?" How I am getting all this wealth, food, or whatever, all the provisions that we are enjoying. You know how I am getting all that? No. Yeah, of course I know. You are enjoying all these things. Will you partake the sin also that I am accruing for these actions?" The father said, "What nonsense you are talking. Right? Idiot. Did I teach you to go and steal? Did I tell you to go and steal? You did not go to school properly. You did not study properly. You are such a useless fellow. Now you cannot get any other job. Therefore, you are stealing things and you are reading me. That is because of your incapacitation. Why should I share?" He goes to his mother. Mother says the same thing. He goes to his wife. Wife says the same thing. He goes to his sons. They say the same thing. And Ratnakar gets totally disillusioned. And he comes back. When he comes back from the distance itself, he had realized, he was really shocked to see the scene. Because Narada, he had untied himself and he was sitting under the tree. Right. He saw Narada. I tied and went, no, what happened? You don't know how to put the knots. I had released myself long time back. I was just waiting for you only. He said, you should have ran away. No. Why should I run away? I don't have a problem. Now what? You tell me your story. What happened? And that is the time the fellow realizes and he transforms. And then he asks Narada to guide him. The guidance given to him was this: just keep chanting Rama, 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 Rama. What Rama, Rama, Rama? You chant, everything will get solved. Like one man went up to this master and asked him, you just chant Rama, all problem will get solved. I don't have wealth, I don't have this one, I don't have anything in my life. Everything I do, there is a problem. Rama, Rama, if I do, what will happen? Nothing will happen. He said, forget about all this. When you keep chanting Rama, 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 when you chant, do you know there is one fellow who comes and sits there? He said, yeah, I heard, wherever there is Rama, Nama Japa happens, Hanuman comes and sits. You know who is Hanuman? He's avatar of Shiva. Now if Rama chanted, Hanuman comes means Shiva is there. Shiva is there means understood is what? Agartha Pratipatte says no. What does it say? They are inseparable. Who? Shiva and Parvati. If Shiva comes, Parvati comes. When father and mother both are going to be sitting there, what are the kids going to be doing? Ganesha and Subramanya also will come. When entire family of sister is there, obviously brother also will come, no? Vishnu will come. Once Vishnu comes, what happens? By default, Mahalakshmi also will come. All that you have to do is what? Simply chant Rama. That's all. This is the power of Rama Nama. And the Ratnakar is, to an extent of his ignorance, is unbelievable. That is, he could not even utter Rama. So he said, even to utter the God's name, you need X amount of punya. So much of sin he has, he could not even utter the name Rama. So Narada is an extraordinary teacher. Of all the teachers we have in the Puranas, the best teacher we have is Narada. Because the quality of the teacher will be known by the students he has produced. The students will show. Like we say, no, IIM is a great institution. How do you know? Because of the professors there. The quality of professors are so. They're able to produce such students. Look at the students of Narada. Valmiki, Prahalada, Dhruva, all, Narada students only. Fascinating students he had. He identified a method. He said, if Rama is not coming to you, say Mara, he said. Reverse. Say Mara. Because that is a tree under which he tied Narada. And he went. He said, simply sit and keep chanting. Mara, 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 Mara. You keep chanting. Automatically you will get that sound Rama. Doesn't matter whether you understand, you don't understand. You say Rama, Hanuman will come. That's all another part of it. But as far as Valmiki is concerned, only this much. And then only he transforms. Ratnakar transforms himself into Valmiki. Later on. Becomes the Adi Kavi. This man. This is the story. Right. I suppose all of you are familiar with this story. Suppose if you, those who are not familiar, at least get to know the story first. This is the story. Now, all the thinking, all the effort done by Valmiki was towards what? What is that Valmiki understood? What is the knowledge that Valmiki gained? What is the investigation Valmiki did? Valmiki never did that investigation with reference to what is Brahman, what is God, what is right, what is wrong, how should I go about becoming better. Nothing doing. In Valmiki's episode, what you need to pay attention to is only this. Esterol only, build up. Essential dimension is what is the effort put in by Valmiki. He didn't even inquire about Rama. He didn't even inquire about what is greatness of Rama. Why are you asking me to chant Rama? Who is that Rama? What is that Rama mantra? This, nothing he did. But investigation was done by him, and he understood one thing. What is the investigation done by Valmiki? Or, okay, to put it very particularly, investigation was done by Ratnakar. Later on, he became Valmiki. That's a different thing. Ratnakar is the one who did the investigation. What is the investigation he did? What is it that he understood? Live classes means I will just pause here and wait. I will not proceed. If I'm having, no, this also we are calling live class. I don't know what to call that as. When you are there in front of me, really, not imaginary, image. You see, what is it that he investigated? Of course, story-wise, don't repeat. He went and asked his father. He went and asked his mother. No, that's not what. That's all there in the story itself. You see, you don't have to repeat the same thing. What is that he probed? I've already given the answer. Or put it reverse is, what is it that he did not probe? This is the difference between the fourth category of student and the rest. You see that? Now, who is the fourth category of students there? Only they can connect to Vedanta, Agama, Shabda. It's all same thing. Agama Pramana, Vedanta Pramana, or Shabda Pramana, all this is same thing. Just we use different words, that's about it. What is it that they have done? The hallmark of the fourth category is they want to get to realization, but their investigation is always with reference to their samsara. That is what he gave here. This is what I said, the line. Hence, they explained the waking, dream, and deep sleep states of consciousness exhaustively. You see, now we are only decoding what is the meaning why he is saying like that. What is he trying to communicate in this? The fourth category of student who says, I want to realize, he will never worry about what is Brahman, what is God, is there God, is God sitting or he is standing, is he walking? You see, he will not ask. That's what Arjuna asks in the Gita. How does a Sthita Prajna function? How does he sit? How does he speak? How does he walk? What difference does it make to you actually? Hmm? He has no. He wants to realize, but his work is not with reference to that. His work is with reference to what? Investigating the world, samsara. They don't explain. They don't study. So you go to the masters. The masters will speak only about your samsara. You go to them for evolution, but they will talk about worldly things only. Now we wonder now why are they talking like that? Yes. Only when you do this investigations with reference to the world that is known to you, the world that you are involved with, which is the waking, dream, and deep sleep states, you understand the futility of the world. When you understand the futility of your pursuit, this is what Ratnakar understood. Ratnakar understood the futility of his belief. He was totally convinced. He understood how flimsy, how illusory his belief was. The moment he understood that, he says, I have to go to a different thing now. He is not asking for a discourse on God. He doesn't bother about, discourse. Please, can you explain what is God? Where is God? What is this? What? Nothing. His entire effort was to get it. After that investigation, he has an understanding. Then what is the difference between the third type of student and the fourth type of student, sir? The third type of student believes in one idea. That is, first let me become good and then I will spiritualize myself. First let me be a good human being and then I can transform myself. Then automatically I will go to spiritual. Then I can spiritualize myself. First let me become good and then spiritualize. This is the third student. The third student is the one who is given this instructions through Upamana and Agama and slowly brought to the fourth category. It's like a spark that you get. That spark should be there. That spark is the third type. The first two types doesn't have that spark. The third one just has that spark, but that spark should be fueled properly. That fueling has to be provided. That is that pramana. And the fourth type of the student is the one who really understands. It is Agama Pramana is the real Pramana on which we stand to gain that knowledge of the fourth state. Even the Upamana has problems. It is not having, you cannot. Only through this Agama or the Shabda Pramana is how we are going to be. So the known things for all of us is the first three. Pratyaksha ruled out. Anumana ruled out. And Upamana also ruled out. For all purpose. You have to rely only on this Agama, that too a particular one. Then that's the only way. Immediately the student's mind will get this fear. Is Vedanta the only way? Imagine Vedanta is the only way, then where is a chance for me to grow? Can you, sir, is it true? Does it really happen? Is there really a thing called realization? Is there really a thing called this? That's why immediately he gives the next topic, assurance of Vedanta. When you are in the third category, if you are in the first two category of student, forget it. Then this book will not help you at all. And all these classes, all these lectures, all these are waste. You're wasting your time. Lowest requirement is you have to be the third category. Border pass. We have no, like these people have, that eligibility. Eligibility for you to apply is 55 marks. But just because you got 55 marks, you will not be getting the seat there. Now you can't argue saying, I'm eligible. No, you are eligible to apply. Like in two colleges, when I, got my, 12th, I went to the college. And the college, the peon told me this. He asked me, என்னப்பா எவ்வளோ percentage? I told whatever my percentage was. He said, ஏன்பா பணத்தை வேஸ்ட் பண்ற? I said, yeah, eligible. No. He said, you're eligible, but you will never get it. Why waste money? He said, prospectus was 50 rupees at that time to buy. To give 50 rupees to buy one prospectus application form and then apply. He said, seat kadakadu. You will not get seat. But you are eligible. Eligibility is there. Same way, the third type of student is eligible, but will he grow? No. But since he is eligible, the book, the author, what he is doing is, he is motivating that eligible fellow to increase his, improve himself, move himself into the next category. From 3, switch over to the 4th category of student. Now, what is needed for him? He just needs a little assurance. They say, it happens. How does it happen? And that's the next topic, assurance of Vedanta. Vedanta gives an assurance to whom? That is why we studied this earlier. You may be wondering why suddenly we have to study different type of students seeking knowledge and all that, sir. To whom this is an assurance? This assurance is not for everyone. Remember, this assurance is only for that student who is third. The 4th type doesn't need this assurance. The 4th category will not ask for this assurance. The 3rd category of student to graduate himself to the 4th, this will help him, perhaps. So that's why he's explaining here, assurance of Vedanta. Right? Vedanta assures the self is within the reach of every human being. Very, very positive statement. So far, all, so pessimistic it will appear. Now, suddenly he says, Vedanta assures the self is within the reach of every human being. That you can gain the 4th state of absolute peace and bliss. Attain it by merging with the self. That is your mission in life. If you do not achieve it, your life is spent in vain. You suffer the greatest loss. None seems to realize this, not even aware of the purpose of human existence. The trend everywhere is to crave for material possession and sensual enjoyment. People are enchanted by the attractions of the external world and live a superficial life with no concern for the underlying reality within them. They are lost in the waking, dream, and deep sleep states of consciousness and totally involved in the temporal existence of these states, ignorant and indifferent towards their absolute state of the divine self. But those who seek the self within enjoy peace and bliss progressively. Pursuing the spiritual path, they finally attain the absolute bliss of enlightenment. The first thing is, it is well within the reach of every human being. The fact that you are a human being, you are eligible. That's all. Now, if you, the only qualification, people always ask, what's a qualification to study Vedanta? Are you a human? Yes, sir. Then you are qualified. Doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make any difference. If you are a normal person, you can study Vedanta. If you have to study Vedanta here, you have to ask one more qualification. What's the qualification, sir? You should know English language also. Why? Because transaction is happening, medium of instructions is happening is English. In another place, they may be speaking in Sanskrit. In another place, they may be speaking in Kannada. Another place, they may be speaking Hindi. Another place, they may be speaking French. Whatever language. You need to have the familiarity with that language. Next one is this. The fundamental qualification is what, sir? Is if you are a human, the self is within your reach. What is it, sir, if I don't reach it? The Upanishads cry out. Hey, Mahati Vinashti says. Nashti, loss. Vinashti, supreme loss. Mahati Vinashti. Superlative loss. It is so super, you don't even recognize it. That's the sad part these days. That's why this Upanishads goes on, crying out. Alas, people don't recognize. Then where are you involved? You are involved in the material possessions and enjoyment. That's all the focus is on. My immediate problem. First tell me, when are we going to get corona vaccine? Talk about that first. We can talk about realization later. But priority number one is what first? For me is what? Need to get my job. I need to pass my exam. I need to get my, this one. I need to get married or I need to get divorced, whatever it is. Something or the other for everyone. But hardly we have a person who says, my first priority is realization. Why? Because you are not understanding what is the loss. If you don't understand that loss, that's what he says. You are ignorant and indifferent. Your ignorance and indifference. You are ignorant initially. Even after telling also, you say, okay, I understand, of course. If I can get realization also, very good. You see, on the way, en route of pursuing my materiality and sensuality, if realization also will help me, isn't it? Which God we all go to? Which guru we go to for advice? The guru's advices which are helping us to function in the world better. In the world better means what? Bettering my material, bettering my physical, bettering my relationship, bettering my emotional. That's about it. Betterment of material comforts, betterment of my physical health, betterment of my relationships. For that, spiritual, religion, Vedanta, all these things, God should come and help first. And then I will go to God. Otherwise, why I'm going to get involved there? Says that is what he is giving first. Says you are not understanding the loss. That's the problem. As a result of which you are indifferent towards it. He says. When you are indifferent here, I am not fanatic with reference to religion. Doesn't mean you are a liberal person, please. If you are not fanatic there, you are fanatic somewhere else. That's about it. It's not that you are not at all fanatic in any aspect, please. I don't want to get attached to any God. If you are not attached to God, you are attached to what? It's not that you are detached. No. It means your area of attachment is different. That's about it. Now today we feel if I'm not getting attached to God, if I'm not getting attached to religion, I'm not getting attached to Guru, something great. Nothing great, please. It means you are attached to your possessions. That's about it. You are attached to your business. You are attached to your family. You are attached to your relationships. That's all. It doesn't mean you are detached or anything, please. Now, that's what he's explaining. Indifference means that. Indifference means you assume as though you are detached with reference to the higher. If you say that I am detached with reference to the higher, I am not attached to the higher, that means you are attached to the lower. I am not attached to God means you are attached to the world. As simple as that. Why are you not getting attached to God? Because you are not understanding the value of God. If you understand the value of God, you will never have this issue. Like chief minister, you don't go and ask for, get me 2 cows. A chief minister comes, he is asking, okay, give me whatever you want. All your problems I will resolve. Tell me your issues. I will solve it. What do you want? What will you ask him? This fellow goes and asks the chief minister, get me 2 cows. Now, that means what? That means he cannot understand the difference between this and that. What is the power of a chief minister? What is the power of a prime minister? You should be able to understand the difference. The problem is, subtler the things, higher the things goes, our vision gets blurred. See, what is the difference between a general manager, vice president, director, and managing director? You see, now who will understand that? The peon will never understand that. The watchman will never understand. What is the power of a director and what is the power of a managing director, chairman? He doesn't. He thinks they're all equal is what his vision is. He will treat them same. If a chairman goes and asks him what you want, and a general manager goes and asks him what you want, he will ask the same thing. He cannot understand what is the difference between these two people. Why? As far as he is concerned, both the fellows come in car. Only difference is what? This car is slightly bigger, that car is slightly smaller. In fact, the smaller the car, better it is. Big car, no problem, sir. Small car is better, says. That is what his belief is. He cannot understand. Same way, greater the values of things, we miss out. He says, but you are capable of reaching. All that you have to do is what? Stretch a bit. How that happens is what he is narrating now. When you say that, okay, I want to realize, I start traveling from Chennai to Bangalore or Bangalore to Chennai, and I go, I keep giving this because only this route I know. Other routes and all I don't know. Okay. If you want, you can change it from Chennai, Bangalore to Bombay. Also, you can include. Now, I don't know the route, so I'm not giving that example. Somebody says, always you are giving only example of Chennai. Why you are not giving? I can give example of what I know, right? From, what is the route you will take from, Cape Town to Durban? I know both belong to South Africa, right? You can go on road. More than that, you ask me, how do you go? What route map? I don't know. From Bangalore to Chennai, when you go, all along you will see the road. On the road when you are traveling, first thing you will encounter is Osur, then Krishnagiri, then you will see Vellore, then Ranipet, then Srivilliputtur, then you are in Pundamalli, Chennai. This is the route. So when you are traveling, you will be in Hosur at point. You will go to the next one, next one, next one. Same way, when you go through this spiritual journey, there are 4 stages your spiritual growth will happen, he says. You will experience the 4th plane of consciousness. How that realization, how that happens, sir? He says there are 4 ways it happens. Relating to the proximity of the goal a seeker pursues, he experiences 4 progressive stages of happiness. Salokyam, inhabiting the same location as the object of pursuit. Samipyam, getting nearer, approaching the object. Sarupyam, seeing the form of the object. Sayujyam, merging with the object of pursuit. This is the assurance. What is assurance Vedanta gives? The assurance is, it gives you the roadmap and tells you can trace it and understand, are you on the right track? This progression should happen. If the progression is not happening, you can understand that you are not growing. That's what it means. First one, Salokyam. Okay. Now he is giving an example. I'll just read that example, then you can, then we can understand it. Very easy. A common experience in life illustrates this progressive joy. A couple in Pune awaits the arrival of their son after long years of study in a foreign country. They hear that his plane has landed in Mumbai, more than 100 kilometers away. Yet, the news of his arrival in the country, in the same location as theirs, gives them the first taste of joy. That is Salokyam. An hour later, they hear that he is driving down in car to Pune. The fact that he is coming nearer, approaching them, provides greater joy. Samipyam. The car reaches their home. They see him from the balcony. The sight of their son excites them furthermore. Sarupyam. Then they rush down for the final embrace, the culmination of their joy. Sayujyam. Very simple example. It's a very practical one which everyone experiences. A lot of them can relate to the example. This is how it happens. Salokyam means you are inhabiting the same loka, same area. Like you go to Vaikunta. Vaikunta is like you entering that area. That's all. Like you go to US. That does mean immediately you get an access to Biden. No. You go there. I'm also in US. He's also there. Like that it is. So that's the first stage. The second stage is Samipyam. You are very close to them, meaning you are having an access, as it were. This is the second stage. You interact, you see them, you are approaching more closer. I am also in the same building. You see, I work in White House. When a fellow says, immediately we understand what, wow, they are far more narrowed down. You see, then comes the third category, Sarupyam. Means, in fact, Sarupyam here means you take that form. Those who are going to that, this temples, next time when you go, to the Vishnu temple or all, when you go, you find Vishnu has 4 Atrubhuja Vishnu. Vishnu always, what is the hallmark of Vishnu is Chakra and Gata. Gata and Chakra is his unique. Lotus everybody carries. Lot of gods carry lotus. So lotus is nothing. Shanku also, lot of them carry. Now you go to the temple, just outside that Sanctum Sanctorium. When you enter, you find there are two statues will be there outside, called as Dwarabalakas, gatekeepers. Like you see those gatekeepers, before you go enter inside, stand outside and look at the statue. You will find they have all the features of Vishnu. They will also have Chaturbuja. They will also have this, the Shanku. They will also carry Chakra. They will also have Gata. Everything they'll have. Only difference is this. They will be standing, keeping the finger like this. You see, they'll keep their finger like this and standing there. What are they trying to communicate is, I will appear like Vishnu, but don't think I am Vishnu. Real God is inside. Go inside. But he also has that same appearance. You see, how does it happen? He has been in that second stage for a long period of time. Samipyam. He has been very close to God. First is he is in the same location. Second one is he had an access, actually getting nearer. He goes more closer to God, which means he is seeing him. By seeing God again and again and again and again and again, thinking of him again and again and again and again and again, relating to that again and again and again, over a period of time, he starts appearing like him. You see, very interesting. This happens with everyone. Lot of, there are pictures we have. The dogs and dog owners. You see, they look very similar. But take their photographs and see. Not in the first day. The dog should come to their house. They should be playing. There are people I know who have dog in their house, but they don't play. He's not mine. They'll stay away. I'm not talking about those people. Those who really go and relate to that dog. You take their picture and take these people picture. First year. After about 5, 6 years or 7, 8 years, you take the picture of the dog and the dog owner. The dog face wouldn't have changed, but you will see the dog owner's face changed. And in fact, you can even see this amongst couple. Over a period of time, the couple will start appearing like siblings. You know that. The couple will start behaving, becoming like that. Their features, their behavior, their things, everything will become like that over a period of time. Not with everyone. You see, I'm just talking about those who are very, very close. The closeness of the couple we identify. How is that the man will start having the features of his woman, that woman will have the features of the man. Automatic. It happens over a period. How, sir? By constant association, what will happen is you will start appearing like that. Your features will appear like that. Automatic. There's no connection. You see, there's no real connection as such. But it will become like that. The person will start looking exactly. That's what the beautiful architecture in the temple depicting this. The person who is standing there, the gatekeeper, they were the fellows who are having maximum, association with, acquaintance with Vishnu. So over a period of time, what had happened? these fellows have started appearing like him. They are not like him. That is why they keep that finger like this. They say, hey, don't get deceived. This is imitation. Original is inside. Say, go there. Don't stand here. Don't get involved with the imitation. That's the third stage, Sarupyam. You will start appearing like a enlightened being. That's what it means. What it means is you will appear like enlightened. Right? But of course, physical features also happens. But we are not talking about physical features. We are physical feature demonstrating that inner state. That's all we are taking here. The fourth one is Sayujyam. Yuj, you have said many times, means to join. You are merged with God. You had become the self. So first stage, you are in that same area. You are in that same place, same locality. Second one is, you are in the same locality, also you have an access to it. Direct access is there. Second one. Third one is this. Like you get a citizenship and go to US. One. Second one, you are in White House. Then you start working with the president so close. You start enjoying all the powers as good as the president. You want example? I love political item, so I don't want to give examples. This is the problem of recording. Well, it just goes there as a secretary. The secretary is so close to the leader. The secretary has powers as much as the leader, isn't it? So, what is he? He's just a secretary, actually speaking. A driver. Rajinikanth's driver he is also as powerful as Rajinikanth. But the problem is what? He doesn't know. Actually, it's not his. But that access, access gives them that thing. That is the Samipyam. That's about it. Then they become the mirror image of him. Over a period of time, they start appearing like that. They will also have that same power. Right? Tamil Nadu people will understand. Chinnamma, and I say they will all understand it. You people may not know. Right? Those who follow Tamil Nadu politics, they understand. How comes he has so much of power? From where it comes at? Constant association. Constant association gives that power. But here the problem is only one. In the world, you can come as much as what, sir? The third step you can come to. Sarupyam you can achieve. In the world, you can never achieve Sayujyam. That is not possible. There is no way, how much ever you can be such a, intimate couple, one cannot become the other. That is not possible. That it can never happen. In the world, the highest we can come up to is Sarupyam. Now, if Sarupyam itself has so much, imagine you merge with it, how much it will be. That's what he is giving as an assurance here. The assurance given by Vedanta is, it gives you the track. The roadmap is given, it's given the track. As you keep progressing from the first to the second, to the third, and finally to the fourth, you would experience progressive increase of peace and bliss. Through that, Vedanta gives you the assurance that reach the fourth state, infinite bliss, permanent bliss, that is. A spiritual seeker goes through a similar experience in his pursuit of the self. He too passes through these four stages of happiness. Shifting his focus from the external world to the self within gives him the initial happiness. Withdrawing from the affairs of the world and locating himself in the realm of the self. Occupying the same realm is the joy of Salokyam. And by pursuing the self, getting closer to the self, he experiences greater peace and happiness, which is Samipyam. Further, with sustained spiritual experience, he gains a glimpse of brilliance and bliss of the self. Though the self is not an object of perception, he sees its radiance in all his experiences of life, feels a deeper contentment and happiness, that is Sarupyam. Finally, with determined and concerted effort, his individual self merges with the Supreme Self. He gains Sayujyam, the absolute bliss of spiritual enlightenment. Thus, must you give your personality a lift to your real being. You will then lift the whole world. Move to the center of your core of your personality. Become the axle around which the world revolves. Scores of sages have done that. The secret of their success is that they sought the truth within themselves. They did not rely on outside forces, nor attach themselves to any institution, to any mission. Buddha was not a Buddhist, nor Christ a Christian. Swami Ramatirtha relied on no mission, yet institutions and missions were built around their personalities. People who belong to institutions and missions raise dollars, put up buildings, buy up materiality. Such conquest has little to do with spiritual growth. Now, this is a problem. The first problem when it comes to spiritual is this. The moment I start spiritual, immediately I will develop a group, you know, get a institution, a missionary work should start. There's nothing to it. Don't waste your time and energy on these things. Go within. Then what will happen? You become the axle around which the whole world moves. Doesn't mean you'll become so popular, so powerful. You will have billions of people following you and all that. Don't get such weird ideas, please. Right? That's not what is referred here. Then what is referred? You work it out. I am not going to explain. Right? What it's not, I am just stating, because everything I can't be doing spoon feeding. Right? What is not, I can tell you. Then what is it meant? What is he means by become the axle around which the world revolves? What is the meaning of that? You think and arrive at your own answers, right? Work on that independently. But what he is giving here is this. You have to lift your personality first. Forget about all this building institutions and building this, building that is all waste of time and energy. Yes. Reflect for a moment. Who forms congregations, associations, and institutions? Who meet in large numbers, form great assemblies, not stalwarts, not the real masters of the world. No spiritual lostness lives in numbers. He does not find the need for an association or mission. He lives alone, all by himself. Only weaklings gather crowds around them. Just mark the animal kingdom. Sheep and deer move in herds. Sparrows and pigeons flock in numbers. But the lion moves majestically all alone. An eagle soars in the sky all alone. Yet a single lion or eagle can put to flight the congregations. Such is the might and power of yourself. Gain that inner strength. Move to the core of your personality. Get to the fourth state of self realization. you become the King of Kings, the God of Gods. Now, this is the assurance given by Vedanta. He says, but what you have to follow, he says, don't immediately start collecting numbers. Let us all work together now. This is that nothing, he says, work within yourself first. Don't get into this building institutions. That's not your job. Your priority is this. Once you have grown, assurance of Vedanta is this. What is it, sir? Institution will be built around you. Now, that's why he gives two classic examples. Buddha, Christ. Christ is not a Christian. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is not a member of Ramakrishna Mission. Isn't it? Christ, Buddha, we may not understand. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, at least we can understand. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa did not think in terms of building institution, which will have branches all over the world. This they will do, that they will do, they will have this one, they will have that one. What are they supposed to do? Putting up rules for that, putting up this one for this. All this is not the focus of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. What was his focus? His focus was just to realize and leave it. It will happen around you, automatic. You don't have to do anything. You just have to collect, like the lakes, collect water, and people flock towards it automatic. No lake needs an advertisement. Lake doesn't require any advertisement. You just have to collect and keep quiet, says. Now, because that's the weakness we will have. The weakness is, sir, if I realize, is that enough? Are we not selfish? We're not doing. No. The greatest service that you can render is after you realize. Before you realize, if you are attempting to serve the world, you will cause more damage than what you have produced. More disturbances only you will cause in comparison to what is the production. The damage is more than the contribution. Therefore, he says, assurance is this. What is assurance? Institution will get built around you. Will happen automatic. Now, it's true. It works like, it works with a mathematical precision. It never changes. I have never seen that's been missed in the world. But first requirement is what? Seek. When you are seeking, you will go through these 4 stages. First, initial joy. You turn introvert, you get initial joy. And most of you will look very different from your other people. You see, most of you look very different with reference to people, others. What is the difference there? Salokyam. They are in different world, you are in different world. Even though both of you may be living in the same house, your world is very different. That Salokyam is the joy that you experience. Then what you have to do is pursue further. Further effort you have to put in. Further effort when you put in, you reach that stage of Samipyam. You will start experiencing that closeness. Getting closer to the self. You will see the joy is geometrically progressing. Huge change. Then further development is Sarupyam. Even the appearance will become like that. You see, that's the beauty. You are not imitating. That's, remember, it's not imitation. People take it as imitating. I will also have the same hairstyle. I will also have that same, this one, that one. It's not that, please. Don't take it to, imitation. It is not imitation, please. How do you distinguish that? What's the difference? You should go to the Jain temple for that. In the Jain temple, you will understand. You will see that, this 24 Tirthankas statues will be there. Go and observe. All the statues will look same. 24 statues are there. All 24 will look same. And you got to keenly observe a slight difference. Slight difference in terms of their angle, this one, that one, posture, their hand, like this, like that. Very, very minute. Otherwise, there's no difference at all. All statues same. It's like, carbon copy. It will appear like that, but it is not. That's why this example they give in the temples. That the Dwarabalakas appear as good. They look everything like Vishnu. All that is there. But one thing is missing in those fellows. That's what this, Vaishnava tradition is. What is missing what's the only difference between Dwarabalakas and Vishnu inside? Only difference is Mahalakshmi. She is not there with these fellows. He is there inside only. She is the crux, not the other things. The catch is the presence of Lakshmi, Sri. Mahalakshmi's presence is what making Vishnu, Vishnu. If she is not there, Vishnu is not Vishnu. This is Vaishnava tradition. Because for them, she is the first one. Only then comes, this fellow. Vishnu and all secondary only for them. Primary is her. So they say, no difference. The only difference is this. What is that? The wisdom, what is there with Vishnu, that defining, that experience of the self, what is there with him is not available here. But as good as him, it's very difficult to distinguish the difference. Most of us may prefer Dwarabalakas only. We may not go there. That's why you go to the Shiva temple, you can identify. I distinctly can see the dedication they have when they are doing pradakshina to the Navagraha, and the dedication they have when they go to Shiva is not so much. The Navagrahas is the one, there's 9 rounds. And that too, particularly the Shani Bhagavan has a separate one, See, what devotion they have towards Shani Bhagavan. Kabalishwara doesn't have that much. Shanishwara has tremendous, devotion. Poor fellow. He is original. Okay, original Ishwara is this man. This fellow is only carrying a title. Shani Ishwara, only title only he carries. Original is here. Now, what is the difference there? The difference Vaishnava tradition is a Mahalakshmi. Look into the Vakshasthara, in the heart. When you see that Vakshasthara, heart, there you can identify what? Mahalakshmi will not be there inside. So look inside him. They are empty. What is empty means what? Empty of that realization. That Brahma Vidya is not there inside them. You see, that is missing. But as good as, for all practical purpose, they are also like that. That is that Sarupyam. You will also reach that state. You will also become as good as an enlightened being. No difference. You can't distinguish. Outsiders cannot distinguish. A layman will not be able to identify the difference between this and that. Between two things, I'll just give you. One fellow is running a business of 500 crores, another fellow running a business of 1000 crores. Can you identify the difference? How many of us can identify? Because that fellow also will come in the same car. He will also come in Mercedes-Benz. He will also come in Mercedes-Benz. He will also come in, this one he will also have. He will also have a big house. He will also have a big house. He will also have this flooring, that flooring. This one, that one. This one, this one. This one, this one. Everything looks very similar. But the gap is what? 500 crores is the gap. But that's what I say. Beyond a point, it becomes very hazy for us too. So first assurance given here is, when you go progressively, you will. Second assurance is, forget about getting involved in other things. Concentrate, conserve your energy, and use your energy to realize the self. Then he is giving the next idea. First, he had said there is a fourth state. Then he said, definitely you can achieve it, is well within your reach. And the path is also, this is what will happen, this is what will happen. The locations were given, all that is given. Now he says, what is the prescribed method of reaching there? Give me the route map. Okay, now that fellow says, I have understood this is the pramana. This is how I'm supposed to gain this knowledge. I am capable of gaining that knowledge. I should not digress. And definitely, test is also been given to me that how I know, how can I know that I am progressing on the path? All that is given to me. Now that fellow says, sir, you did not tell me the path. How am I to progress from limitations to liberation? What is the way I should go about? That's the next topic, the path of reality. We'll see in the next class. Thank you.